West. I'm Drew Dixon. I'm the editor-in-chief of Gamechurch.com, and I'm here with Martin Gunterfer, who, I got it right, he is with State of Mind. You're the creative director of State of Mind, right?
Yes, exactly. The creative lead, yes.
Great. And so, yeah, this is a really unique kind of mind-trippy game that has a lot of interesting things to say about things that could potentially even be our futures. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about State of Mind, what it's about, and what makes it unique.
Okay, it's a 3D story-driven game, and it's about Richard Nolan, a journalist living in a, dystopian future Berlin in 2048. And Richard is going to find out in this story that he's been subjected to a mind upload, and that upload went wrong, and now a second version of him exists somewhere else in a virtual space, and that's going to mean a lot of problems for Richard, for the two of them, actually.
Yeah, and you were telling me earlier that this is based on something that that we think is actually possible in the near future.
Yeah, it's I've read the books by Ray Kurzweil, who's the director of engineering at Google now, and he likes to make predictions, and he's a transhumanist, and he predicts that by the 2040s, we will be able to upload our minds. And when a person like that, in a position like that, says something like that, then we should actually think about that, because these people are serious about this, and it could have huge implications for our future lives, obviously.
Yeah. So how do you help players wrestle with some of those implications in a meaningful way in the context of a game?
Yeah, okay. Well, the game has those two characters who are, torn, and actually one person. So there's a dystopian world and a utopian world, and we let them explore both worlds, and both characters have, have certain goals and have certain standpoints that you can't easily dismiss. You can switch back and forth between the two worlds once they're both unlocked, if you will. And so you get to know both sides of the story very well.
Yeah, and what would you say is like the one thing that you hope a player gains from their experience with your game? What do you hope to communicate to players?
Well, Richard's story is a story about Richard's state of mind that lies in shards. His mind is in shards, his whole life lies in shards, and he needs to put himself back together. Players need to put this story together to, heal him. So to that extent, it's a story about separation and reunification as well.
Yeah, that's interesting. It sounds like you're really trying to say some interesting things about who we are as human beings and what makes us human. Is that fair to say?
Yes, of course. I mean, much of what transhumanist people say is about the possibility that the body and the mind could actually be separated. That matter, physical matter doesn't matter. That we're going to be virtual, spiritual even, beings, and that everything else is, like clothes that you change or that you can throw away because it is not what makes you you. And they have quite a few good points, and still no one's quite so sure if that is actually really true. Are we only what we are in our minds, or are we also is the matter, physical matter, also defining us?
Yeah, well, it sounds fascinating. Excited to get a chance to look at it. One last question for you. What makes you want to make games? Why do you make games?
Oh, because, I've always tried to make games that I find interesting, about topics that I find interesting. It's I think I need to draw from my own life experience and from my own thoughts, because it's the only way for me to say something meaningful, or hopefully meaningful. It is an author's standpoint, but I like to do something that I actually believe in, and not make something that, getting assigned to some project and then turning it into a product. That's it's just not. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. I can only do my own stuff.
Well, we're really excited to check it out. Thanks so much for your time. And that's it for us.